Okay, Zoe, thank you very much, Zoe. Thank you. Thanks, man. Ryan, come on up.
Hey, Mike, while he's coming up, I just want to tell you that Zoe did just weigh 394 pounds at one point.
Big round of applause for Zoe. That's incredible. What are you down to now, Zoe?
240s.
Wow. That's pretty badass. Okay, where's Ryan? Come on up, Ryan. Come on up. Yep. Ryan watches the GSD show, so round of applause for Ryan and watching the GSD show. Okay.
Thank you.
How many episodes have you watched so far?
Probably less than 10.
Less than 10? Okay, cool. So there's 54, so get your ass to work, okay? You gotta get busy, man, okay? All right. So Ryan, you've been in this, I know you said you have other things going on as well outside of this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you do the sales? You have somebody else doing the sales?
Someone else does the sales.
Okay.
I help, but I'm not there full time. So.
Okay. What are your conversion rates on sales?
Conversions from lead to...
Going from demo to close.
I have no clue.
How about from booked demo to closed?
No clue.
To show demo? How about contact rate to book demo?
I don't know.
How about lead to contact rate?
No idea.
Do you think your business would work better if you had those numbers?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Now, I didn't ask him those questions thinking he didn't know this. We had a conversation earlier, and we understand that a lot of you guys may not have these numbers down. Raise your hand if you don't have great answers to those questions, spot on yourselves. Okay. So it's not you, Ryan. I would never do that to you. I knew the answer to that question already. All right, so these are really great things because sales is very difficult. Salespeople are difficult people to manage, but they're very easy to measure. But most small businesses don't measure, which means now you have the most unmanageable type of people, and you don't even know if they're doing well. It's all gut. You feel like they're doing well. You think they're doing well, but you never really know for sure. You just go based off volume. The example we were talking about earlier offline was, I really apologize for all the basketball analogies, guys, but it's my sport, okay? I really like it, even though it's short. I figured it out. So you take basketball, and raise your hand if you ever heard of Hall of Famer Tim Duncan. Raise your hand if you heard of Gerald Green. 2 hands. You guys are real fans, right? You really follow basketball. You really follow basketball. Because if you kind of follow basketball, would you know Gerald Green? And here's the thing. The reason I bring up those 2 guys, Gerald Green is a freak as far as how he can jump, right? He's got like one of the best verticals. It's got to be like a 40, 45-inch vertical. He's fast. He catches fire. When he catches fire, he'll just make 5, 6 shots in a row. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and it looks amazing. Tim Duncan is a pretty boring player to watch, but he is a Hall of Famer. Fundamentals, gets it down all the time. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I am building a basketball team, and I go, okay, let's go ahead and have all you guys play, and I got Gerald Green out there, and I got Tim Duncan out there, and they're all running, and they're doing their thing, and I go, whoa, did he just jump over that guy? Holy shit. Look at that shot. Look at all that. Meanwhile, Tim Duncan, that's it. Defense, offense. The other guy, wow, like crazy stuff. Now, the crazy thing is if you're watching the game, you're going by gut, you're going, I need who? Who do I need? Gerald Green, right? Would you guys agree the guy that doesn't know anything about basketball or isn't really looking at the numbers is going to go, that guy, we need him. If you didn't know anything about the 2, you just saw him play. But they have box scores. Box scores, although as fans, we may think that they were made for us, they were not made for us. They were shared with us. Who are they made for? Scouts, general managers, decision makers, who's going to stay, who's going to leave, who's going to ride the bench, who's going to play more minutes. And so there's a really cool column that I love, and it's called the plus minus column. And in this column, what it basically does is it says when Gerald Green is on the court, they are either plus this many points or minus this many points. So basically, they like accumulate all the time. He goes on the bench, gets back on the floor, and they like say, okay, out of all these minutes that he played, when he's on the court, they're up 15 points, or they're down 15 points. When Tim Duncan's on the court, they're up this many points, or they're down this many points. So it works. If you were to look at the stats of Gerald Green and just go by the numbers alone, without any watching him play, and you watch Tim Duncan's stats as well, there's no shot in hell you're picking Gerald Green over Tim Duncan. No chance. Would you guys agree, avid basketball fans? Who would you pick in their prime?
Tim Duncan.
Would you even need to watch him play? Just look at the paper.
Look at the paper. Shooting percentage.
As a business, we don't look at the paper enough. We don't look at our numbers. We don't pay attention to things that really matter, and that hurts us dramatically. Because when you're making decisions from here or from here, it won't always get you what you want, especially us, because we are entrepreneurs. And as entrepreneurs, we learn to be optimistic, right? So, what's your name? Zach, let's say business isn't going so well. Let's say business is going okay, maybe you had a couple bad months, but you're at your family barbecue and they go, Zach, how's business going?
Going good, keeping me busy.
You guys relate to that? It's always good. We are trained to not spill our negativity. And also it's because we always think we're right around the corner from
Success.
just got to figure this out. I just need this many more clients. I just need this. I just need that. Are you guys laughing because you can relate to it? So you're always right around the corner, but you're going by your gut. Stats don't lie. And when I look at my business, I love my team. I love everybody on the team, but they're all measured. I'm measured too, but they're all measured. And they meet regularly. We talk about our numbers. Our numbers are posted. Everyone knows everyone's numbers, in fact. We all know where we stand. Because when it's time to have a conversation about a promotion, it's not really a conversation. It either is or isn't. If it's time to have a conversation about letting you go, there's no conversation. It either is or isn't, right? If you knew, Ryan, you're my salesperson, you know that I need you to book at least 50 demos a month. And out of those 50 demos, I need you to make sure that at least 80% of them show. And out of that 80%, I need you to close at least 33% of them. Know the numbers? 50, then 80%, then 33%, okay? Now, we sit down, performance review, end of the week, end of the month, however you like to do it, and you go, hey, really quick, so goal was 50 demos, we booked 35 demos, you got about 60% of those people to show, and you closed about 40% of them. So what are we doing here? What's going on?
So I thought my goal was 33, right?
Your goal is to get 50 demos.
33 closed.
30, and you only got 35, and then your goal is to get 80% booked, and you only got about 78% of these booked, and then out of the ones that you booked, 80% booked, and out of those, you were supposed to close about 33% of them, okay? You closed 40%, so that part's good. What's going on here? How did we not get to 50?
You know, it's a good question. I guess
Quick question though.
Yeah.
Are you going to even think about asking me for a raise?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Because I know I didn't have expectations.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
It's a dumb question. You don't even have the balls to ask it.
No. Hoping to have a job.
You're hoping to have a job.
Right.
Okay. So why didn't you get to 50? What happened?
You know, I really don't have a good excuse. Just didn't make it happen this last month.
Can you make it happen next month?
Absolutely.
What happens if it doesn't?
I should be held accountable.
Like,
That's
what
gonna happen.
does that mean though? Held accountable.
Well, I mean, I think I should expect to have a conversation and see if this is going to work or not going to work, but it's going to work.
How is it going to work?
Because I'll do what it takes to get those 50
Okay.
demos.
So that means halfway through the month you should be at about 25.
Right,
That means halfway through that halfway you should be around 12.
right.
I want to check in at that point.
Okay.
What if we're not at 12?
I'm going to give you a plan to get caught up by halfway through the month.
Deal. Good?
Yep.
Okay. You guys see what I did there? Now, does he feel like I'm being hard on him? What's the deal here? What's his job? He has one job. Now, you know your numbers.
Right.
We should have had this conversation the day you started, right? Actually, even before that, because in the interview process, you should know what you're going to be held accountable to doing, and you need to say you can do that or not, right? And you agreed to that. And then in the interview process, which one's Christina?
39.
Episode 39 of the GSD show, I go through my interview process, all the questions I ask, how I do it, how I keep them not only holding accountable to their expectations, but extremely excited to prove it to me. Okay? Because they need to be excited too. You don't want them to be scared to start. You want them to be excited to prove it to you. And it's great for them because they're hitting goals that mean something good for them. Do you want a promotion?
Absolutely.
Do you know what it takes to get one now?
Yes.
Is it exciting when you get there?
Yes.
Because now you'll get a promotion.
Promotion.
Does that feel good?
Absolutely.
You want to tell your wife and your mom and dad and everybody when you get a promotion?
Sure.
Does that feel good when you get to tell them?
Yes.
All those good feelings tie into you hitting your numbers.
Right.
Sales is very easy to measure. There's no winging it. Sam has a difficult job to measure, right? He does video. It's a hard thing to measure. So we look at different things like, what's the engagement like on video? How many people are staying on? But in reality, it's not black and white at all times. There's a lot of color. This is black and white. You are the easiest to measure, and we're not using that. And he's the most important variable as far as the growth of your business. Whether it's going to grow or not grow, a lot rides on his success. Because if he flops, you're the same next month, maybe even worse because attrition's real. But if he's significantly better, what's next month look like for you? And so there's different things I want you guys to measure. Here are the things I want you to measure. Make sure we're recording, so you don't have to take these notes down unless you wanted to start on it today because we won't get the edited video to you probably for a couple weeks. But number one, how many leads do you get? Now, when I say how many leads do you get, I don't mean how many good leads do you get. I mean how many leads do you get, include the shitty ones. There's not one business owner, not one. I have yet to meet one. Guys, seriously, I've sat down with thousands of them over the last 5 years. Not one business owner that doesn't say something similar to this when I ask this question. I ask the question, I go, so how are you at closing? When you get in front of somebody, how are you at that point? Oh, if we get in front of somebody, we're good. We know what to do. We close 100. We're like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'm not even going to ask you to raise your hand because I don't want to embarrass you, but a lot of people probably would have said the same thing if I asked, how are you at closing? And everybody says it. Everybody says it. But then I go, cool. So let's talk about your ratios. How many leads you get? What's your book rate? What's your close rate? And you could tell they're bullshitting it. Number one, because of this. But number two, because they go, yeah, we'll get anywhere from like 20 to 40 leads in a month. 20 to 40, that's a 100% swing. That's not a real number. And then, yeah, we'll be able to get, out of the people that we book, we'll be able to get like, I don't know, if we got like 80 booked, we'll get like 50 to 60 of them show up. You're making this up, man. That feels like 50 to 60. Do you agree with me when they're saying stuff like that? It feels like it's 50 to 60. It feels like you close 8 out of 10. The reason they say this is because they don't count the crappy leads. When somebody sits in front of them and they're right off the bat crappy, which by the way, there's no such thing as a crappy lead, but when they're right off the bat crappy and they go, yeah, I really don't have a lot of money, they're already thinking, well, I'm not, and subconsciously, by the way, I know consciously, none of you ever thought this, subconsciously, you're not going to count this towards your closing ratio because you don't think it's your fault that you couldn't close them. You're only counting the good leads that need to think about it, that you know want to sign up, that you know you're going to get eventually, but you haven't closed yet. You're at 8, 9 out of 10 out of there. In reality, that's not the way to count it. Every lead, the crappy ones, the ones that said they were going to come in and they never came in, the ones that said they were going to come back and they never came back, the ones that said they need to talk to their husband never came back, the ones that said they didn't have money, the ones that said they can't work out anymore because or their knee issue, whatever it is. All those are leads. Even the ones that you disqualify because you don't think they're good fits are leads. You count those. What's our disqualify rate? What's our disqualify rate per lead source? wow, we're disqualifying 40% of our leads through Facebook, only 10% of our leads through Google, only 5% of our leads through referrals. Now we know where to spend more money. Now we know where to spend more time. Now we know where to build processes around. Guys, see what I'm saying? Raise your hand if you really believe you close 8 or 9 out of 10 of every single lead that walks through the door. That's the real answer. Cool. Because nobody, I mean, it's hard. It's very, very hard to do because most people aren't qualified themselves. You're going to disqualify 20% of people, right? Some people aren't just good fits. So these are the numbers, total leads, including everything. And you want to find out, you want to make sure you track what the lead source is. And you want to have level 2 lead sources as well. There's level 1, level 2. Level 1 lead source, Facebook, Google, Yelp, stuff like that. Level 2 resource, you still chart in level 1, so I want you to imagine your spreadsheet, level 1, whatever it is. I don't care what they say. Then there's level 2. Now, something like Google or Facebook, there is no level 2. You just put an X because they just came from Google or Facebook. But if it's referral, then you're going to put referral, and then you're going to find out who referred them, John. How did John hear about you? Go back and look. John found us on Facebook, level 2 Facebook. Why do you think it's important to measure that?
Marketing investment.
What if Facebook only got you 15 leads in level 1 this month, but you notice it got you an additional 12 as same month from level 2? Because the people that referred them to you would have never heard of you if you never did Facebook in the first place. Does that make sense? How many customers do you think you would have, or how many customers do you think you have because of an initial thing that you did? They were referred to you by customers, but those customers came from this. You see what I'm saying? Marketing is a compounding thing. It gets better and better and better as you go. A year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, you have 300 members that came to you from Facebook, and let's say out of those 300, you've gotten 200 referrals because this guy referred you 2 or 3 people, this person referred you 4 people. Little by little, you go, whoa, yeah, Facebook directly made us this much money, but hey, if we never did Facebook, we would have also not made this money either. Raise your hand if that makes a ton of sense to you. Yep. Do you see value in fully measuring the range of your lead sources? Yep. Okay. So you want to track your leads and your lead sources. You also want to track what's called lifetime customer value. Who here knows what their lifetime customer value truly is? Okay. So who here heard of lifetime customer value? Okay, great. So basically what it is you want to know the numbers. What does your average member pay? And I don't want to hear a range, right? Well, we have people that pay this and we have people that pay that. I understand that. Take your total revenue, divide it by all your members. What's the average number? There's an average.
Over a period of time?
Over a year, right? So take the previous year. That sounds extremely spot on even.
I just did the math a couple of days.
And it's exactly $1,200.00.
It was $12,010.
Something like that. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. Okay, so 1210. So you know that, right? Now, when you did that math, how did you get there?
So I did an average for our 10-week program, kind of average selling price over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Looked at all the memberships we'd sold there, and then I looked at the average fit membership rate, so that ongoing, over a 12-year period.
Okay, so basically you took what they're paying in membership, divided by the members that make that up. And then that's what the average person's paying per month. But that's not your full lifetime customer value. Maybe. Here's why.
They include products and
Boom, there you go.